Good morning. It's 4:44 a.m. for me. This is going to be the video for tomorrow. I don't think it's going to happen with Jagamara. There was the class that was scheduled for 3 a.m. my time. Nobody's at the class. And then I noticed after I went there, and I have 12 email addresses, and I noticed that my newest email address had a message that the class was going to be canceled. Didn't give a reason why, but that there wouldn't be a class. But I went to the class on, a few minutes past the 3 a.m., getting out of bed about 25 minutes to 3, and posting my video from yesterday on Facebook and doing birthday greetings and stuff like that, as is most of the time my routine. In any case, I don't know when the conversation with Jagamar is going to occur. I'm sure it will. I'm of the realization that Native peoples, as I said in the video that's being aired for today, they don't tend to look at time the same way we Westerners do, certainly not the way that I do. Which leads me into the topic for today. Will the control freaks please stand up? Well, I'm not sure what's going on in Australia right now. Obviously not what I expected. This I know. People are being challenged in many ways around the world. These challenges produce a high level of insecurity. I would suggest that those who do not feel this way may be a bit out of touch. When I feel insecure, I notice how hard I work to try to control my environment. Those around me. I guess I should stand up, right? Yes, I can be a control freak, though I don't like admitting that about myself. What triggered this latest revelation, once again, was observing the insane behavior of the food fundamentalists, aka the vegetarian-vegan militia. Under the guise of being compassionate about animals, they unleash their harsh judgments against humans, who they see as spiritually unevolved because they still eat meat. Could these be unaware control freaks? I got an email in answering my emails from Facebook, and I posted the email, although I did not post the sender, and I'm going to read you that. And this is, by the way, from a vegetarian or a vegan. I'm posting this privately because I agree with you, but don't want any more attacks. Since I have been on Facebook, I have received the most vicious attacks from vegans than anyone else. I've had to block a few. It makes me wonder if a vegan diet causes a mental imbalance in some people. Or is it just more of the program divide and conquer that the rulers are so adept at? I don't get it. Most people choose to be vegans because of their love and compassion for animals, but they cannot extend the same to their fellow humans that do not choose the same diet. Although I've been corrected many times, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. I admire your courage on that subject. I knew your thread would be full of attacks before I finished watching the video. Between you and me, I had my greatest spiritual growth during a period of time that I was following a paleo-type diet, mostly meat. Go figure. That's the end of the quote. And I'm pretty sure in a previous email, she acknowledged being a vegetarian, if not a vegan. I'm not sure which she said, but I know she's no longer a meat eater, and she's evolved to that point. We're all in the process of evolving to another point. The point where we're at now, the stage of our development right now, is exactly that, a stage in our development. And people that are wise understand this, and they don't lay trips on other people, and they no longer, let me see, oh, I made another comment somewhere down the line here about guilt trips. I do it. I was reminded as I was meditating before I did this video this morning, between the time that I got up and the time that I'm now sitting down to do the video, I was reminded how I try to get people to see things that, you know, the state of the world. I try to get people to see and take action. And I can become pretty harsh sometimes. My friend Margie reminds me of that. Sometimes I just don't see it. Sometimes I just don't get it. But what I'm really understanding is that the reason I try to get people to come over to my side, to my camp, is because I feel insecure. And so I try to control other people's level of awareness and can be pretty darn forceful sometimes and pretty judgmental in how I think of other people and how I speak to other people. Now, I don't do that so much on a personal level. I got to admit that, except with my grandson, I pretty much do not try to control people. But I don't have people, very many people like my grandson, that are so straightforward, although he was wonderful yesterday. I mean, and I even complimented him last night. His behavior was so good. He was a good boy, and it was so noticeable and appreciated. I mean, he's still a kid, but he was a good kid yesterday. Anyway, all of these things, folks, in our world are there to teach us. And the lesson that I think that they're there to teach us is a level of tolerance that hopefully produces a level of wisdom. I mean, we can't just jump to wisdom right away. Sometimes we just have to tolerate what we see as obnoxious behavior on the part of other people, because we cannot come to peace with that within ourselves. So tolerance is a step forward. But ultimately, when you get to the place of wisdom, you can actually be compassionate for people. I can be compassionate and am compassionate for animals in the respect that I hate the way factory farming raises even fish, and how animals are treated and caged and have to, I mean, it's horrible. When I read Diet for a New America by John Robbins of the Baskin-Robbins family, that's when I went on my vegetarian kick for several months, till I realized I wasn't enjoying my food. And then I made a decision that I was going to be thankful for whatever I ate. And I was going to receive it with thanksgiving and remember the prayer. Remember the prayer that old retired minister said back in New Albany, Pennsylvania, when I was invited over for dinner one day. He said, "Thank you to all the food that has given their life so that we can live." And that wasn't just the meat that was on the table. It was probably, I don't really remember, it was probably chicken, but I'm not sure what it was. It's a long time ago. I mean, it was before I got married the first time, so it was pre-1968. In any case, that prayer, I've never forgotten it, because even the vegetables have to give up their life for us to eat them, and even fruit. We're eating baby trees or baby plants when we eat the fruit. That is the seed of the new of the next generation, and we're consuming it. But these things are given to us to be thankful for. And, they had a problem in the New Testament with eating meat sacrificed to idols. And Paul was very wise. He said, don't even ask questions. Just whatever's set before you, eat it. And don't question where it's been or the process. Just be thankful for it. And they had even had a vision. Peter, I guess, had a vision of a sheep being let down out of heaven full of unclean animals. And the command from God was, rise, Peter, and eat. And he responded, no, they're unclean. And the response from God was, don't call that which comes down from heaven unclean. Yeah, and this is this new, I gotta shut this thing off. Let me just mute this, because it's bugging the freaking crap out of me. All this ding, 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 ding. This is this new email program that I have, and it makes a noise every time somebody makes a comment. So there's a chat going on in this new program that we just got yesterday. Anyway, back to control freaks. I'm learning. I'm a thick-headed guy, and I'm learning to see things and open myself up to see how that when something really bothers me about what somebody else is doing, what is this saying about something in me? It's not about them. It's not about those unspiritual people, these people that have lacked proper development and proper awareness according to my belief system. It's about me. It's about what's me. We rail against the Illuminati and the elite establishment. Are they not fearful of losing control? Are they not fearful of not being able to achieve their desire of controlling the whole world? Isn't theirs a total control freak game? Well, where does that come from? Does it not come from each of us who also want to control our environment and the people around us and make them behave in a way that doesn't upset us? I mean, we need to take a close look at this. At least I think we do. I'm suggesting that it might be a good idea to really examine our trigger points, to really examine the things that push our buttons and find out what it is inside of us so that we can heal that part of ourselves so that we don't have the strong desire or the imagined need to control everything that somebody else is doing. And we can allow people to be free, which is called love. That's really love. It's not love when you're trying to control somebody for their own good. And that's not love. That's control freak stuff. And, my friend Armand, from Armand and Angelina, he sings a song to Frank Sinatra's My Way song, I Want It My Way. And it's the control freak song. It's a beautiful song. I love it. I request it every time I have them in concert. I always request that song. And he does it like Elvis singing My Way, not Frank Sinatra. He does the Elvis impersonation. I want it my way. I wish I could remember all the words right now. If I sat down and thought about it, I probably could, but I can't do that on the video. In any case, I got to see if that's on YouTube. Maybe he's got that one on YouTube. I don't know if he does or not, but I'll look for it. We all tend toward control freakism. That's an unnamed religion that we have that binds us to judging each other because we judge ourselves. If we would give ourselves some slack and cut ourselves, quit trying to figure out who's right as God told me a long time ago, it's not about right and wrong, Ron. It's about life, love, laughter, which were unspoken sounds out of the light that filled my room in the middle of the night in Melbourne, Florida in 19, maybe it was 1982. It was before I moved here in 83. I was on vacation in my uncle's house, fasting for 7 days. It was a 40-day fast that ended after 7 days. And God held me. It was one of those mountaintop experiences where I heard so clearly that God was saying, look, you're focusing on the wrong thing. It's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's not about that, Ron. That's your ego doing that. You're going to learn one way or another that that's not what I'm about. I'm about life, love, and laughter. And let the light shine and teach you that and overcome the darkness of your own ignorance. And when you judge another, when I judge another, and that's another major thing that God gave me, you don't know enough to judge another. And if you did, you wouldn't. So spiritually mature people don't judge others because they recognize that when they're judging, and we all do, when we're judging, we don't know enough yet. We don't have enough information. We are unaware of the stage of development that that other individual is going through. And they're just doing what they're doing because that's what they're doing and that's where they are. And your reaction to it is to teach you. It's your guidance system to say, hey, look, you're judging somebody. What is it that you don't know about yourself? What is it that you're unaware of in your own being? It's not about them. It's about you. Are you a control freak in the closet? Are you an unconscious control freak? I bet you are, because you're human. It's not about beating yourself up and trying to lay a guilt trip on you. You got to get beyond this guilt trip thing. You don't need a lot of guilt, just a little bit. And that's enough to control people. And they've used fear and guilt to control the masses for a long, long time. I say they. It's our own unconscious controlling us. It's our own demon, our own devil, our own Lucifer, controlling us from the dark side, from our own ignorance, controlling us and holding us in a prison that we don't even recognize the bars. Anyway, it's almost 18 minutes. It's 18 minutes right now. That's all I'm going to share for today. And hopefully I will get to connect with Jagamara and find out what's been going on, that he was unable to keep the appointment yesterday afternoon and not teach the class today. And I don't know what's wrong with my voice, but I'm going to say goodbye for now. Love you. Namaste.